And I actually would like to share a story regarding a moment that happened earlier today. I was out on one of our neighborhood walks, and for those who follow me on social media or follow the work of the city, we do many neighborhood walks week in and week out, especially throughout the summer. It was an ordinary morning in Dearborn, just like any other day. Residents were outside. We're talking about sidewalks and tree stumps and property maintenance issues, all the things that make up the everyday work of building a city. And while we were at the park, a group of children walked up. And amongst them was a young boy not older than 6 or 7. And he looked at me and he asked if the quote-unquote Crusaders that were coming to kill him. And I paused. I paused longer than I probably should have, long enough for the neighborhood police officer that was with us to actually interject and to assure the young child that he would be safe, that he should go about his day and enjoy the park like he would any other day. I paused because I never expected that question. And as a father, I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. Children that age should be thinking about what game they're going to the park to play. They should be thinking about whether they're going to have another scoop of ice cream at the end of the night. They should be wondering if they'll get an extra hour before time for bed. They should not be wondering whether someone wants to kill them because of how their family prays. But our children are listening. They hear our conversations, they see the headlines, and they notice when their parents are worried. And that little boy reminded me that what is happening outside is not just political theater. Fear has consequences. So tonight, I want to speak directly to him. And I want to speak to every resident of Dearborn who has felt that fear. I want to boldly say that you belong here. That you belong here as much as anyone else. And generations of people who built this city prove it. Dearborn was built by people with different names, different accents, different traditions, and different ways of worshiping God. Some traced their roots here generations. Others arrived with little more than a suitcase and hope. They worked the assembly lines, they opened small businesses, they taught our children, they have served our country, they built houses of worship. They built homes next to people who did not look like them, and somewhere along the way, strangers became neighbors that shared a meal across the fence line. That is Dearborn, and that is the story of America. Yesterday, I stood alongside Christian clergy from across our city. People whose theological traditions may be different, but whose message yesterday was remarkably similar. Love thy neighbor, care for the vulnerable, feed the hungry, welcome the stranger, and stand against hatred. Dearborn is home to more than 30 churches and roughly a dozen mosques. And each and every single week, tens of thousands of people walk through those doors to participate with their congregations. They may pray differently, but they pray for many of the same things. For their children to be safe, for their families to be healthy, for peace, for justice, for dignity, for the strength to leave this world a little better than they inherited it. So when people portray Dearborn as some place that have been overtaken by Muslims, they aren't simply attacking our Muslim and Arab communities. They're also trying to erase our Christian brothers and sisters who have contributed immeasurably to the city, and folks of other faiths, of other backgrounds, or of no faith at all, who have all contributed to the Dearborn that we all love and cherish today. And ultimately, they're attacking something much larger than any one faith or community. They are attacking the idea that all of us can belong to America at the same time. There are people outside tonight whose idea of America is much smaller than ours. An America where belonging comes with conditions, where your name matters, where your ancestry matters, where the direction in which you pray somehow determines whether you are sufficiently American. I reject that vision for our country, because what matters is not the articles of your faith. What matters is the content of your character, the kindness in your heart. Do you provide for your family? Do you check in on your neighbor? Do you help someone when they're struggling? And do you leave your community better than how you found it? Those are the things by which we should measure one another. I've always believed that there is something exceptional about the American experiment. Not because Americans are inherently better than anybody else, but because of the audacity of the promise that we have all made to one another. That people could come here from every corner of the earth, carrying different stories and traditions, worshiping God differently or not at all, and somehow build one country together. That promise has never been perfectly fulfilled, but every generation has had to fight to make it more real, and now it is our turn to carry on that fight. Tonight, the choice before us is actually quite simple. We can allow fear to make our lives smaller, or we can allow community to make us stronger. I know some families are afraid right now. Many families have reached out and told me how they have changed their plans for the day. Practices for youth football has been canceled. My daughter was not taken to daycare today. Some parents kept their children at home, wanted them a little closer. Some residents decided not to open up their business stores today because of the events unfolding. And I understand that instinct. But we cannot surrender our everyday lives to someone else's hatred. Our police officers are doing their jobs. I will do my job. This council will do its job. They are protecting this community and protecting the constitutional rights of everyone in it. So let them do their job, and you live your life. Let the kids chase each other at the splash pad. Play another game of soccer, grab coffee with a friend. Fire up that grill and open up your business tomorrow morning. Sit on the porch with your neighbor, break bread and share in that meal. Visit your parents. Go to church on Sunday, go to the synagogue on Saturday, go to the mosque on Friday, or sit at home. Pray exactly as you have always prayed. Don't bother changing for anyone, because the greatest victory we can hand those who seek to divide us would be allowing them to convince us to be afraid of being ourselves. And we will not give them that victory. Instead, we're going to do what Dearborn has always done. We're going to keep opening our doors, because one of the most powerful antidotes to fear is simply knowing one another. I've met people over the years who have come to Dearborn genuinely nervous. They have watched something on television, they've read something online, or followed some of the comedians that were here earlier, heard someone describe the city as a place that they should fear. And then they came here. They walked our neighborhoods. They met our residents. Someone welcomed them into their businesses. Someone started the conversation, and ultimately, as is the tradition in Dearborn, put a meal in front of them. And somewhere between that first handshake and the last bite of that meal, something changed. The caricature of who we are disappeared and dissipated, because a stranger became a person, and fear gave way to understanding, because hatred needs distance. It needs us to remain strangers. Community closes that distance. So to anyone watching tonight who doesn't know Dearborn, but thinks they know Dearborn, I have an invitation for you. Come visit us. Come experience this city and come experience this community. And most importantly, come break bread with us. Ask questions, tell us your story, and listen to ours. Our doors are open. Our table has room, because the longer the table, the stronger the table. Dearborn welcomes everybody, and that will not change under our watch. And to that little boy that I met this morning, I want you to go be a kid. Go play with your friends. Laugh too loudly. Get in trouble at home. Push the time limit in which you have to come back to the house. Because the response to those who believe America's promise should belong to fewer people is not for us to retreat into our homes or make ourselves smaller. It is to demonstrate each and every single day just how beautiful America can be when that promise belongs to each and every single one of us. This is the Dearborn that we will protect, and that is the Dearborn that we will pass on to generations and generations. God bless this city. God bless the most beautiful people I've ever met who reside in the city, who patronize this city, and God bless this country. Thank you.